It sounds like a no-brainer, I know, but if you live in this part of the world that I live, it's something that sometimes it seems you can't escape from. And let's face it, all over the world, people offer incentives to get one thing or the other. So this video will be useful for that person that really wants to do the right thing.
Tired of getting bad advice from well meaning people? Want to get to the root of that pressing challenge? Then join Modia, a behavior specialist and certified mentor, on the Behavior Hub YouTube channel as she talks about real life issues.
I live in Abuja where you have where there are quite a number of governmental organizations, and often for you to get one opportunity or the other, you are often forced practically to offer a bribe. So I'll talk about how to escape those situations. But first, I'll start with a story to inspire you. Yes, as I said before, Abuja is a place that is known for all kinds of dirty and sleazy deals. Yes, let's say it as it is. And so, more often than not, when you have to interact with government or government officials, you are often expected to do what is not right, especially if you are a Christian, you are and you want to obey the laws of your religion. This video will also be useful for other people. So it's often very difficult. So I want to share a story about the young man that was in Abuja that kind of avoided those circumstances. It happened like 20 years ago when the internet space was not so saturated, especially in this part of the world. So he got a skill as a website designer. That was like 20 years ago. It was like year 2000, year 2001, or that time. He got this skill as a website designer. So he went to a ministry, I'm not going to mention the ministry, here in Abuja, and he offered his services. And because the skill was not common, it wasn't something they could easily give their relation. That is something they do, or their peers, or someone they know. Sometimes you have a beautiful idea and you send it to people, you send it to an organization, and at the end of the day, they'll steal your idea. There's something I sent to an embassy in Nigeria, a European embassy here in Nigeria, in Abuja, many years ago, and they stole my idea. So it's not just a Nigerian or an African thing. In case you are watching from many parts of the world and you are thinking, oh, Africans, they collect, they are off, they always want to take bribes and all that. It's a worldwide thing. So it was a European embassy. They stole my idea, everything about it. Yes, to that embassy, I submitted the proposal to a Caucasian. It wasn't like it was a black member of staff or a Nigerian member of staff, and that idea was stolen. So this is how things work basically in the world. So as I was saying, so this guy went and they really needed, then website designers were rare. They were not, it was not a common skill. Now you can just click the website, touch one or two, three things, and you have a website. So it's not a big deal anymore. But then it was a highly sought after skill. And he got the contract in this big ministry. He did not have to bribe anybody. He got the contract too. And so I just want to use it as a story to encourage people. Now, how do you avoid? Now, let me get practical. Let's get to the really practical aspect. You have an idea, you have something you want to do, you know you are skilled in that area, and you want to approach these people in government establishment. What should you do and how should you navigate it? First of all, you have to be sure that what you are doing is what you are supposed to do, because the fact that something is good as a believer, as a Christian, doesn't mean that you should do it. You should first of all seek God's face, and if it's something he is approving of, or if it's something he initiates, it's better for God to initiate something than for you to initiate it. For example, God can tell you that you do something that you are not skilled at in future, but if you just accept it and you believe, as time goes on, as you keep listening to him, you find out that the circumstances, either you learn that skill later, or you'll be exposed to people that have that skill, you'll be able to do that thing. So you have to be sure that whatever you are doing is initiated by God. That is something you should do. It's not something you want to do, or something. Don't do something because you are desperate, because God is your provider. Just have that in mind. God is your provider. He will provide for you, even if it looks like there's no way for you to take care of yourself or your family. Just be patient. So don't get into that space of being desperate to get anything. That will put you in a very good place, because first of all, when you approach these people, these government employees, they can read your body language. If you are desperate, that will even give them more room to now introduce concepts that are alien and that are not good for your what you believe in. So first of all, when you are sure 100%, I'm not saying 90%, I'm not saying 99%, when you are sure 100% that what you want to do is what God wants you to do, then you can now think about how to go there. But there are so many things attached to it. Like, I'll give an example. There was a time that it was expired, so I needed to renew my passport. So, and I had not gotten the go ahead from God to go and renew my passport, so I kept it. I didn't get desperate like, oh, I must renew my passport. So it happened that I went for an event, and when I got to that event, I just started talking to somebody. It was a funeral ceremony of a friend. So while I was there, the friend was busy. So she introduced me to a friend of hers. So we sat together and I was with her throughout the funeral, the service, and we now went for the interment. So and after that there was like a reception. So I was with this person throughout all these processes, and we got quite friendly. We were talking to each other. It was just a genuine friendship. It wasn't like I wanted anything from the person. So just before I was about to leave, I now wanted to know what she was doing. I asked her where she was working. She said she was working for the immigration. I now asked her which department. She said she was working for the department that they issue out passports. And I now told her that I wanted to renew my passport. And because we had started a good relationship, it wasn't like I wanted anything from her. She was so eager to give me her number. She was like, I should come there. And when it's time, I knew that when I would go, I would not need to give a bribe and all that. So it now you jump that process. So as a person, you have to realize that if God wants you to do something, just like Joseph, what happened with Joseph? God wanted him to be the prime minister. So God now made the butler and the baker come to that prison that he was, and he interacted with them, and events if unfolded. In case you don't know the event I'm talking about, please read Genesis. And he became the prime minister. He did not have to bribe his way to become prime minister. The circumstances made when it was time for him to be introduced, he was introduced to Pharaoh. Pharaoh was like the president of the country, and the rest, as they say, is history. So when you have something you are supposed to do, there's a from God, especially there's a way that God will do it, that circumstances will, by the time you get to the place where you have to meet Pharaoh. For example, Pharaoh in the Bible was a very wicked person. Was a very wicked person. It wasn't like he was a kind person. He was going to be nice to, he was someone that would be nice to Joseph if Joseph had just gone to meet him beforehand. But there was a situation that came up and he needed Joseph. So he was so nice to Joseph. He extended his generosity to all the family, that you can bring all your family and come over. So you have to know that if you've been sent by God, he will bring whatever needs to be done. And now, before then, even if you've been sent by God, there will be a time of training. Like the time in Joseph's life, there was a time of training. He had to leave his father, where he was just a father. He was a spoiled brat practically. He was having everything to himself. He had to go through a stage of suffering to train him, because when he was in Potiphar's house, he had to manage a household. So he learned how to manage maybe the resources. He knew what needed to be done in the house and even in the field, what to do, how to make the place neat and tidy, and how to, assign tasks to people that will do the different tasks to make the household of Pharaoh, of Potiphar, go smoothly. That's why Potiphar did not bother with any other thing. So before you go for anything, make sure you go through the right training. Yes, you have the skills you need, so that when you go there, you don't start muttering, or you don't start by the time they ask you question, you are not sounding smart enough. Make sure, and while you are doing it, trust me, God will give you something unique in whatever aspect of thing you are doing. He will give you something unique that will be different from other people. So you will not, like now, when it was time for Joseph to become prime minister, it wasn't a thing that he was hustling with any other person. He was the person that had the blueprint, that think what was needed. So make sure that you are up to speed when you get to the place where you have to present your proposal or whatever it is. And trust me, along the way, there will be instances. I've had opportunities where from nowhere, it looked like from nowhere, opportunities came. But it was because I was diligent in little ways. If you watch this channel, several of my videos, I talk about how opportunities came, some that I did not expect, just by having casual conversations and just by doing what I was supposed to do. I'm not saying that there were not times I did things that I was not supposed to do. I also talk about the mistakes I made in my channel. So if you do all that, that, or you get to the stage where it seems as if you must offer that bribe, or you must do, you must, if you are a woman, they force you. One man is saying that you have to sleep with him before he gives you a contract. If he gets to that stage and there's no way out, just know that it is like Potiphar's wife offering Joseph that, okay, I want us to. It looked as if things would be good for Joseph. I mean, he would be the head of all the slaves, or all the servants. He had access to food. He had access to all that. So if he had slept with Potiphar's wife, it would have looked like a good deal. Like he would have been eating well. He would have, but there was something greater. So when it gets to that stage, the final stage, and you realize that you have to do something that you're not supposed to do, and there seems to be no way out, please just run away. Like Joseph, just leave your coat with Potiphar's wife and get out of there, because there's something better along the way. Like, what did I say? One, make sure, I'm going to repeat all I said. One, make sure that what you are supposed to do is something God wants you to do. That is very important, number one. Number two, make sure you are skilled in that area. And when God tells you to do something you are expected to do, he will bring circumstances, he will bring people around you that somehow you will not have to go through those processes. I'm not saying you should bypass processes, no, but in this part of the world, for example, where you have to offer bribes, almost all along the way till you get something, don't that you will beat those processes. But when I talk about processes where your skills need to be in place, where you need to know your onions, please don't. You have to be excellent. Like Daniel had the spirit of excellence, Joseph had the spirit of excellence. You cannot escape excellence. But what I'm saying is that God will make you avoid some traps, and he will make you go over some protocols. There's a way he will do it. I'm not just wait, just obey him, just listen to him as you go around doing what you want to do. He will tell you, go this way, or speak to this person, go to this, and you'll be surprised. You go to one office, the person that would answer you on that day, the person that will attend to you that day, will be someone that has vowed that he or she will never take a bribe. I've been in government establishments where people around me were collecting bribes. They were collecting bribes, and or maybe I'll talk about it in a video, and I was the person on duty, and I did something for that person without collecting a bribe, and it just happened that way. I've been in several situations like that. I've worked in several government establishments. So the day you're submitting your proposal, God will make it that if you are meant to be there, to be somebody that will just have your back. The person will not want you to compromise. So whatever you are doing, I just want to give you hope. Don't give up. Be diligent, be consistent, continue what you are doing, because there's so much in this world that will make you want to give up and not fulfill your destiny. Trust me, anything you are doing, if it's part of your destiny, God will shake heaven and earth to make sure that you get it done. So it's not your fight. It's just for you to be spiritual and sensitive, and to know when to move, know when to stay. For example, if Joseph had gone, if the not the yes not the butler, if there were two people, there was the butler and there was the baker. Yes, if the butler had gone to Pharaoh before it was time, Joseph, even if they had helped him to leave the prison, he would not have fulfilled his destiny. So God made the butler forget for some years till it was actually time, till Pharaoh actually needed help. So if it looks as if there's a delay, please be patient. All things will work together for good. I'm sure that my life is a testimony. It's not always been easy, but I tell you today, I'm living a life that God has provided, and I did not have to compromise in so many ways. So till I see you in the next video where I talk about something that will be useful, take care and think about